I'm 74 years old now, sitting by my window most mornings, watching the gentle world pass by. Time has made me quieter, softer perhaps. Once I believed strength lay in achievement, in bold declarations and visible impacts. But life gently showed me otherwise. Age has taught me a truth often overlooked. Kindness is the quietest, most powerful force we have. I've come to understand that it isn't grand gestures or dramatic moments that truly shape lives, but rather the quiet, daily actions, the small, unnoticed moments of generosity that ripple silently through our days. Allow me to share 6 quiet truths about kindness, each learned softly over decades, each proven by gentle acts witnessed or received. Quiet Truth 1. Kindness notices the invisible. I still remember Mrs. Thompson, my elderly neighbor when I was 52. She lived alone, tending her garden each morning. One day, noticing her newspapers untouched for days, I knocked on her door. Finding her weakened and feverish, I brought her soup and stayed until help arrived. Days later, with tears in her eyes, she softly told me, "I feared I'd become invisible." That moment etched itself into my heart. It was a simple act, but it reminded me that so many people live quietly on the edges of our vision, hoping someone might truly see them. Kindness, I realized, begins with noticing. It starts when we pause and recognize the presence of someone we might otherwise overlook. There is silent power in witnessing someone else's existence, making them feel seen, valued, and worthy of attention. As the years passed, I've tried to carry this lesson with me, to notice the quiet ones, to check in, to say hello, to ask questions that invite real answers. Kindness doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it's just showing up, asking, "Are you okay?" and truly meaning it. Never underestimate the strength it takes to notice someone who feels invisible and the healing it brings. If you believe kindness should never go unnoticed, prove it. Follow this page for more untold truths. Share this video with someone who needs reminding they matter. And leave a comment. Have you ever felt invisible? Let your voice be heard. Your experience might be the light someone else needs. Quiet Truth 2. Kindness requires no reward. At 65, I had surgery and found myself quietly anxious in my hospital bed, uncertain, exposed, afraid. One night, unable to sleep, I lay awake, heart restless. Then, a nurse came in, not with medication, not with advice, but with silence. She pulled up a chair, sat beside me, and gently held my hand. She said nothing, didn't need to. That quiet presence, that unspoken comfort, melted the fear more effectively than any pill ever could. She didn't ask for thanks. She didn't look for praise. Her kindness wasn't transactional, it was instinctual. I realized then, real kindness seeks nothing in return. It exists to comfort, not to impress. That small act, a simple hand held in silence, remains with me to this day. I've long forgotten the pain of surgery, but I will never forget that quiet companionship. Her compassion didn't fix my condition. It fixed something deeper. We live in a world obsessed with outcomes, applause, validation. But the most powerful acts of kindness are often those that remain unseen, unrewarded, and yet unforgettable. You don't need a grand reason to be kind. No one needs to be watching. No one needs to say, "Thank you." You simply need to care. That's enough. Offer comfort quietly. Show up when no one's looking. Because real kindness doesn't wait for credit, it just quietly changes lives. Quiet Truth 3. Kindness sees past our weaknesses. One afternoon in a busy grocery store line, an elderly man fumbled slowly, dropping his coins nervously. Customers sighed impatiently. Then, a young cashier quietly reached out, gently touching his trembling hand. "Take your time," she whispered, offering dignity in place of embarrassment. Watching from behind, tears quietly filled my eyes. That small moment stayed with me long after I left the store. In that simple act, I saw the essence of kindness, the ability to look beyond weakness, to meet hesitation not with judgment, but with compassion. Kindness reminded me that everyone has moments when they feel small, clumsy, or vulnerable, and that how we respond defines our humanity. The cashier didn't make a grand gesture. She didn't need to. Her whisper of reassurance was powerful enough to restore dignity. May we all learn to offer that same grace, to see others not for what they fail to do, but for the quiet strength they show in simply trying. Kindness sees not the stumbles, but the courage it takes to stand again. And in that recognition, it offers something deeply healing. Quiet kindness isn't just thoughtful, it's transformative. Quiet Truth 4, kindness gives courage to others. Years ago, at 69, I volunteered briefly at a community center. A shy boy named Daniel struggled to speak publicly. Each week, he sat silently during group activities, eyes down, voice barely above a whisper. The staff gently nudged him, but fear had built a quiet wall around him. I saw a younger version of myself in Daniel, a soul full of thoughts, unsure how to release them into the world. One day, before his presentation, I leaned down and quietly said, "You don't have to be perfect. Just be you. That's enough." It was a small moment no one else noticed. But afterward, Daniel stood and read his story. His voice trembled, but he finished. He smiled, and for the first time, I saw pride replace fear in his eyes. That single whisper of belief gave him the courage he needed. Years later, Daniel found me. He was confident now, a youth leader at another center. He said, "That one sentence changed everything." I was stunned. A single sentence, a quiet nudge. We often underestimate the power of encouragement, the lasting strength it plants in someone unsure of themselves. Quiet kindness doesn't just comfort, it builds. It tells others, "I see you, I believe in you." In a world that constantly shouts over our insecurities, sometimes the quietest words carry the greatest force. Be the voice that whispers strength. Be the presence that stays just long enough to say, "You've got this." That small effort could be the courage someone carries for a lifetime. Quiet Truth 5, kindness unites us across differences. On a crowded bus in my early 70s, I witnessed a quiet, powerful moment. A young woman wearing a headscarf boarded and nervously searched for a seat. The bus was silent, passengers absorbed in their own worlds. An older man near the front hesitated for a heartbeat, then quietly stood and offered his seat with a gentle nod. She smiled, surprised, and sat down. No words were exchanged. But that single act, the briefest, softest gesture, shifted the entire atmosphere of the bus. The air felt warmer. People looked up. A tension I hadn't noticed before dissolved. It was a small moment, but its weight was undeniable. Kindness, I realized, has the power to reach across perceived divides, age, culture, language, and draw people into quiet human connection. In today's world, we often feel more separated than ever. But acts of kindness remind us that underneath our surface differences, we are all human, yearning to be seen, understood, respected. That man didn't just give up his seat. He extended a silent hand across what might have been a chasm, and in doing so, he closed it gently, powerfully. If you believe kindness can bridge what divides us, leave a comment below with a time someone's quiet gesture touched your heart. Share this video to spread the power of small actions. And if these stories resonate with you, follow us for more reflections that honor the quiet beauty of human connection. Quiet Truth 6. Kindness lives on long after the act. In my early 50s, I attended my father's funeral. Amid the quiet grief, an old friend of his softly approached. His eyes were wet, but there was peace in his expression. He shared how decades ago my father had helped his family during a financial crisis quietly, without ever mentioning it to anyone. That silent act had given them food, dignity, and hope. I never knew. He never said a word. But that's what kindness is. It often doesn't announce itself. It doesn't chase gratitude or recognition. It simply gives, then fades its only purpose to ease another's burden. And yet, that kindness my father offered rippled forward. It shaped that man's life, then his children's. And now, decades later, that story found its way back to me, and I carry it still. Kindness echoes quietly. Its legacy often lives in hearts that never got the chance to say thank you. It plants seeds we may never see bloom, but bloom they do silently, surely. Every kind word, every gentle gesture, every unseen favor is a thread in someone else's story. And one day, someone will remember it not as an extraordinary act, but as a moment that changed them. This final truth is one I hold closest now. Your kindness will outlive you. It will linger in memories and habits, in the way someone else chooses to be kind because you once were. Be generous not for applause, but for legacy. Quiet acts become eternal stories. Final reflection, the quiet gift of kindness. At 74, life has gently distilled my understanding of kindness. I see now its quiet power, how softly it connects, heals, and shapes our world. It never demands applause or attention. It simply exists in small moments, gently offered and quietly accepted. I once believed legacies were built through grand achievements. Now I know the deepest legacies are etched in the quiet moments of care we give one another. Kindness is humanity's quiet heartbeat, whispering our common goodness. It doesn't require wealth, position, or fanfare. All it asks is for presence, a willingness to notice, to care, and to act. Kindness doesn't chase recognition. It radiates silently from those who choose compassion over convenience. It builds bridges where walls once stood, and it gives hope where silence once settled. I share these reflections not as a teacher, but as a traveler, one who's still learning, still listening. I haven't always been kind, but I try, now more than ever, to offer gentleness, to pause, to reach out. And I've seen how even the smallest gestures echo louder than I could have imagined. If my journey has taught me anything, it's that kindness is the truest form of courage. So I ask you, before this quiet story ends, carry kindness forward. Be the one who notices, who softens, who gives freely. Let your life whisper gentleness, even in a noisy world. And if this message touched you, share it. Not for me, but for the next quiet soul who needs a reminder that kindness still lives, still matters, still changes lives.